Imagine a world where everyone you love is gone. How do you respond? Would you be able to handle the pressure? Would you be strong enough to survive this apocalypse? Now, hopefully this is an actual scenario you come across, so let's instead reflect on some characters who actually have. This is future Gohan and Trunks, and realistically, their chances of survival are slim to none. Yet the one thing they do have is hope. As they try and carry their family's legacies, hope is all they have, and the story that contains them begins to paint them as two of the most compelling yet tragic duos we've ever seen. Everything about them seems so perfect in such an imperfect scenario. The chokehold these two have had on many fans is honestly so insane. What's goody on Hoodie? It's that Brother's Miracle, and come join me to take a closer look as to why future Gohan and Trunks work so well together. So, if I haven't made it clear, this is not the average Dragon Ball story arc. The tone of this story is much more dark and grim, and just by comparison to the other arcs, we know that this story is special. I mean, like, everybody is dead. Goku, COVID. Piccolo, packed up. Big Krill, packed up. Yamcha. Like, fully accepting that this is canonically the main timeline is honestly very depressing, and the time travel stuff doesn't even happen till after. This universe does not get saved. Seeing our beloved characters just gives it that feel, like the hope and despair is really kicking in. But thankfully, we at least have our two main protagonists for this story. Gohan, who we know and love, all aged up, and Trunks, who's supposed to be the son of Vegeta, but you won't really even know it just by looking at him. But speaking of looking, when I first look at these characters, I notice how crazy their character design, they look crazy. Starting off with Gohan, we have him rocking this hairstyle that really honestly is in character for him. Rocking his father's gi too, my man Gohan, along with his battle scars, looks like a true warrior. How can you not root for this man, especially compared to this DBS variant? How do you go from this to this? But anyways, of course later he also loses his arm to give him that iconic look. And come on now, y'all cannot tell me he is not one of the coldest looking characters in Dragon Ball history. And then on the other hand, we got Trunks. Now the classic and iconic Trunks outfit that we all love today, of course, is perfection. But even when he was younger, he had it put on. But yes, the classic future Trunks look is one-to-one unrivaled. And it's funny too, because only this man can rock this. But I do want to take a closer look at the connection that these two badasses have, bruh, because these two are perfection. In a non-Goku focused story, we have his son and Vegeta's son as the sole survivors. Gohan, being the older one, really has to step it up, but keep in mind, he really hasn't even experienced life. No Great Saiyaman era, no 7 years of peace, nah. He only knows war if we're being honest. But at the end of the day, he's still the Gohan that we know and love, just shaped by different experiences. All the characteristics we loved about Gohan in the current timeline are reflected here too, but in a much more serious tone, and a lot more maturity and responsibility is given to him. This in a way is literally peak Gohan, everything his character was meant to be, but formed in probably the most saddest way possible. This dystopia is honestly so different from the current timeline that it feels like Gohan is the one connection we have to it that hasn't completely changed. What's interesting though is that while Gohan has seen the world pre-androids, Trunks really has not. We also get to see Trunks' character grow a lot in this post-android world. A lot of his character development comes from his admiration for Gohan. As we can see, Gohan has a very focused mentality, knowing that he has to do whatever it takes and that he cannot let fear consume him, because he absolutely has to. Trunks at the beginning is eager to adopt this mindset, but at the same time, he just physically and mentally isn't ready yet. Where was Popo at? I bet that nigga would have helped. We as the viewer know that he actually does shape out to be this, as he becomes a very calculated and hopeful warrior who, in all honesty, isn't here to play around. We see that as he interacts with the Z Fighters in the future, as they make decisions that don't exactly reflect this value, and Trunks sometimes be acting like the sole voice of reason. This mindset clearly comes from his time spent with Gohan in his own timeline, a mindset that was adopted out of pure necessity. So with both of these characters clearly driven by necessity, we can now look at how they work together as a duo. They both honestly just need each other and are all they have left, as well as Bulma. And their bond feels so authentic because it's such a dire time, the only optimism they have is within each other. Gohan has lost everything and wants to see the future thrive represented through Trunks, and Trunks' only connection to his family in the past is through Gohan and his mother. One thing that Gohan shows Trunks though is something that not even his own mother could: how to be strong and how to fight. The hope that drives them both is fueled by their ability and optimism to be able to fight and grow strong enough to defeat the androids. Trunks wants to be strong just like Gohan, and this desire for power comes from a pure place. Simply put, they both need each other. Trunks looks at Gohan with astonishment and aspiration for power, and Gohan looks after him and wants him to be the best, taking care of him like the little brother that he does not have in this timeline. But tragically, as we all know, this duo does eventually split apart after Gohan's passing, and this is honestly where I believe the beauty of their relationship resides. Gohan's sacrifice and how much Trunks seeks to honor him after his passing. I think I can speak for us all when I say I love this duo when they were together, but this scene right here is just so powerful. When I think of future Gohan and Trunks, I think of Gohan's last stand against the androids and how much it resonates with Trunks, how dedicated he is to being able to adopt that do whatever it takes and do the right thing mindset that Gohan had. Any form of power that Trunks wanted via hope or strength was illustrated through Gohan for Trunks, and this level of admiration and respect is crazy. I full-heartedly believe this is why we love the duo of future Trunks and Gohan so much. Like I mentioned earlier, after Gohan's death, we see Trunks' character grow so much. He becomes capable of having strength and independence, and he really takes after future Gohan's don't play around mentality, not understanding why the current Z fighters play around so much. I think it's so intriguing yet tragic that he has this mindset because we can so directly see where it came from. In my opinion, future Trunks and Gohan have some of the strongest showings of strength and hope in the entire series. That's saying something because this is Dragon Ball, like that's kind of the point of the show. But as I wrap this video up, I just want to reflect on some of the points I made. If I could summarize their whole arc in one word, it'd definitely be hope, followed by trauma. These boys definitely been traumatized. And I also want to hear y'all thoughts. And if you're strong enough to answer this, let me know who y'all like more, future Gohan or Trunks. But anyways, thank y'all for watching this, and as always, peace. Also, Bulma's bad in the future.